I will now show you only one kind of format on the board, and there are two other acceptable kinds which I will display. Don't worry too much about which one you choose. My only advice to you is when you choose one, and I say this as a school, when you choose one kind of format, just stick with it. So let me go through one kind of format in the letter writing.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt.
Yes, please interrupt me.
অংশিকা চালকটা আমাদের একজন স্টুডেন্ট রয়েছে, আমরা তাকে একটু নিয়ে নিই। লখনৌ থেকে অংশিকা জলোটা। অংশিকা, what's your question?
Ma'am, my question is in the Pressy writing, we have to write only the hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
My question is like in Pressy writing, if the question is saying, if the question is saying ki we have to write the nouns only, so if we will not write one noun, my marks will be cut or not?
Child, today's lesson is mainly dealing with friendly letter and notice writing. So if there is time, at the end of this module, I will deal with the Pressy question. Is that in order, miss? Otherwise we'll get distracted with all other parts of and I'll fail to finish what I have to. So I will choose now the most popular format, the most popular, most used format for letter writing. So supposing this, we'll take the block format. This is your answer script, children. All right, so we'll take this format. Let's take this address. See, block. A three-line address. A three-line address with a pattern of a comma, comma, full stop is ideal for you. Now, some of you are going to ask me, Miss, what if the it's a four-line address? What if it's a two-line address? Children, all are acceptable. I am using this as a standard pattern. You can have a four-line address, you can have a two-line address, but I recommend you form a three-line address because this pattern of comma, comma, full stop, you get half a mark. See, your teacher will get half a mark like this. The next thing you need to write correctly under this is today's date, which is the 19th of April, no punctuation, 2020. The 19th of April 2020. You get half a mark for this, provided the date is correctly written, the month is correctly spelt.
Oh, not ma'am, 19 full stop 4.
No, ma'am, there is no punctuation required for the date. Right. Then this carries half a mark. Then you get into the salutation. If this letter is written to your friend, you will go, my dear Anita. Children, just watch the capital letters and small letters. Capital, small, capital. Fifthly, your friends. A friendly letter will never go beyond the scope of these 5 categories. Yes, miss.
Suppose students write dear Nani, dear Nana, Mama, Mamima, Dada, Didi, for elder sister and brother. How to convey this sense in a letter written in English?
Yes, ma'am. I really appreciate that.
And is this allowed? Or
subscription, which will come, yours. Let me take that a little. I'll make this into a pattern so that you remember. We'll go straight into. Children, check the capitals in the small letters. Yours, affectionately. Too many children are using the apostrophe for affectionately. Be careful about that. Yours affectionately and your first name only. So who is writing to Anita? Firoz. Firoza is writing to Anita. So this is it. Now you see this pattern, comma, comma, full stop is repeated here, comma, comma, full stop, which is why I advise a 3-line address. Now this whole thing together carries one. Saying the apostrophe for affectionately, be careful about that. Yours affectionately and your first name only. So who is writing to Anita? Firoz. Firoza is 2.5 marks, as you can see. 2.5 marks on 10. 25% you have scored, you haven't even written the letter. And I urge you, keep practicing this as drill work. You know, when we were children, we used to do something repeatedly. You do it over and over and over and over and over again, and what happens? It gets into you. I recommend this kind of drill work. So this is 2.5 marks, as you can see. 2.5 marks on 10. 25%, get the 25% of 10. That is 2.5 marks, and you haven't even begun. All right? Now, having done that, let's move to that sorely neglected part of letter writing, that is body.
Then format is very important.
Format is very important, miss. It's marks for the asking, no?
Yes.
It's just there. Take it.
Ma'am,
Don't throw it away.
আমাদের একটা পরের প্রশ্ন আমি যেতে যাচ্ছিলাম, কিন্তু এই মুহূর্তে ফোনে রয়েছেন একজন স্টুডেন্ট আমাদের সঙ্গে রয়েছেন নন্দিতা চক্রবর্তী, অঙ্কিতা চক্রবর্তী. অঙ্কিতা, প্লিজ ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. My question is, if you kindly discuss the email writing also, then I feel happy, ma'am.
Child, I would also be happy. I'm fighting for time. I would really be happy. I can spend all day with you discussing everything. Okay,
Ma'am, but please kindly, please, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Please.
I'm so humbled. I'm so humbled by your request, but I'm fighting time. I'm looking at my watch and I can just see the seconds ticking away. So I'll just get on to the body of the letter.
Okay.
Child,
Okay.
this is very important because you'll get marks for this.
Yes, okay.
Okay, stay with us. Ma'am, next question. Should the language and informal letter be casual and informal? That is, can the student use contraction and words like cause for because?
No, miss. No, miss. Again, I repeat, this is a test of how well you use language.
Okay.
And good language, ma'am, we don't compromise.
Okay.
You cannot spell, or not even spell, it's misspell. And this new language that seems to be gripping everybody, it's not language at all, miss. This is a test of how well you wield words, how well you use language, how
Informal, that is, can the student use contraction and words like cause for because?
language, but it has to be warm, friendly, and I'll discuss that when I come to the body of the letter.
Okay.
Now, children, the body of the letter also carries these 2.5 marks. And I'm a little concerned that year after year, what happens is that you neglect to address what is being asked to.
Okay.
And the language is, it's not formal language, but it has to be warm, friendly, and I'll discuss that when I come to the body of the letter.
Okay.
Now, children, the body of the letter also carries these 2.5 marks. And I'm a little concerned that year after year, what happens is that you neglect, I forget the year now, was you have been selected as school captain. Write a letter to your parents who live abroad, telling them, look at me, how you felt when you got the news, why you think you have been selected. Of the letter, there will be certain questions. I'll give you an example. One question paper that we had many years ago, I forget the year now, was you have been selected as school captain. Write a letter to your parents who live abroad, telling them, look at me, how you, wow, clap, 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 everybody's cheering. What is Ashok Pradhan feeling in his heart? He's feeling thrilled. He's feeling excited. Right? Now you see, children, 3 questions have been asked. Okay, how did, I am a little disturbed when people call them keywords. They're not keywords. There's no key. Can you imagine? How did you feel in front of the whole school? Exactly. The principal is saying, meaning. Okay, so instead of thrilled, you can say overjoyed. Instead of excited, you could say disbelief, shock, and of course that word you all love so much, awesome. All right? The next one, how did you feel when you heard the news? The next question, why do you think you have been selected? There are 1,200 children in your school. You have been chosen. Why? Give me 2 reasons. Give me 2 words to describe why you have been chosen. You know, children, when I ask my school captains and I ask my school leaders, why do you think I've been chosen? And they give me a variety of answers. Some of them say, ma'am, I was good in sports. I was ex-division champion last year. Some say, I have 100% attendance. A good many of them say, teachers think I have leadership qualities. Ask yourself today, if you are school captain, why have you been chosen? And I'll tell you, here, let's take,
ma'am, please, sorry to interrupt.
No, interrupt, ma'am, I just get so carried away.
আমাদের সঙ্গে রৌনক জৈন পাটনা থেকে রৌনক
Hello.
রৌনক
Hello.
হ্যাঁ
Yes.
yes we can
Good
hear
morning.
you রৌনক
Yes, ma'am.
রৌনক what's your question? What's your question?
My question is that how much paragraphs should we write in body in friendly letter writing?
That's a lovely question you've asked.
Okay,
That's a
stay
lovely
with
question.
us, Raunak.
I'm going to answer you
Thank
right
you.
away. Is Raunak?
Raunak.
Raunak's son, see, there are, you have to answer the question in 2 parts. So how much, it doesn't matter, quantity doesn't matter. A good number of my children ask me, miss, how many paragraphs? It's not the paragraphs. You address the question. How did you feel? Why do you think? The minute you finish, how did you feel? I was excited, I was overjoyed. You come to the next part, why do you think you have been selected? Right, you give me 2 words. Tell me why you think your teachers have chosen you as school captain. So let's take this child who told me that he was, why? Huh? This is your question, why? He was sports captain. Oh, he did well at sports. No, he couldn't have been sports captain. He did well at sports. And your other reason? Teachers think I have leadership qualities. So here you have leadership qualities. For each of this, for each of these points, each of these questions, you give me 2 points. You give me 2 words. And the third one, how did you feel? The second one is, why have you been chosen? And the third one is, what are your plans for this new year? This is a lovely question. Because when you have been selected as school captain, you have a lot of responsibility. And you have the power to make change for good. So what changes are you going to make? And when I talk to my children, again, all over India, all my children say, for what changes? They tell me, I'm going to have better line discipline. A lot of them talk about this line discipline. So I'm putting this down, better line discipline. And sometimes the children say, miss, I'll organize a very good teachers day to say thank you to the teachers on the 5th of September, which I think is a prefect's responsibility. So a better teachers day. Okay, now see what has happened. In the body of the letter, you have got these 6 words. Look at these 6 words: thrilled, excited, I was good in sports, I have leadership qualities. What changes will you bring? Better line discipline, organize a good teachers day. So then you understand how these 2.5 marks are going to be distributed. You'll get half, plus half, plus half, plus half. Anyway, 2.5 marks. This 2.5, you have got these 6 words. Look at these 6 words: thrilled, excited, I was good in sports, I have leadership qualities. What changes will you bring? Better line discipline, organize a good teacher's day. So then you understand how these 2.5 marks are going to be distributed. You'll get half, plus half, plus half, plus half. Anyway, 2.5 marks. This 2.5 marks for asking to get these 2.5 marks. The 2.5 marks are yours for the asking. So you've got 2.5 marks for your format, can't go wrong there. And out of these 6 words, any 5 would be correct. Let me do just one more example, Bab, and I'll take your question. Your grandfather, take this one. Your grandfather celebrated his 100th birthday. You were unable to attend. That's important. You were unable to attend. Write a letter to your grandfather telling him why you missed his birthday. First one, let me clean this board and I'll get back to you. All right, so come to the body. Write a letter to your grandfather telling him why you missed his birthday. Okay, now remember, see this figure. Congratulate him, 100 years old, my goodness, that's a wonderful age to be at. And tell your grandfather what you admire about him. So again, admire. Okay. Why did you miss his birthday? You'll begin, my dear grandfather, I'm very sorry that I missed your birthday. I was in the middle of my board exams. I was sick. I could not travel. Happy birthday, many happy returns of the day, congratulations, best wishes. Grandfather, you have been my role model. What I admire about you is the way you have led such a disciplined life and the high level of integrity you showed while you were working as a senior police officer. My, what a grandfather. Yes, ma'am, your question.
No. আমাদের সঙ্গে একজন ছিল কিন্তু এই মুহূর্তে বোধহয় নেই যদি পরে কোশ্চেন আচ্ছা আমাদের সঙ্গে রয়েছেন সারেদিন ইয়াসমিন আছে কি সারেদিন ইয়াসমিন না এই মুহূর্তে পাচ্ছি না ম্যাম প্লিজ
May I go on? So you see children, my point is do not neglect format. You're almost always correct. You don't go wrong. I'll skip here and there, I understand. Format, remember, punctuations are very important.
Yes.
Ma'am, your question there.
এই ফরম্যাটের প্রসঙ্গে যেমন আমরা নরমালি শুরু করে ফেলি হয়তো অনেকে শুরু করে যে হোয়াট শুড বি দ্য ওপেনিং লাইনস অফ আ লেটার everybody writes ki how are you
ma'am, that doesn't come in format, that is coming in the expression of the letter. I will deal with that.
Okay,
I will deal with that. You have a question about punctuation, I know.
Okay. হ্যাঁ পাঞ্চুয়েশনের ব্যাপারে আপনি বলতে পারেন যে পাঞ্চুয়েশনটা সত্যি কতটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট
punctuations are extremely important. Punctuation marks are very, very important. Do not be careless about it. And I'll tell you why. Punctuations have the power to alter meaning. You know, we tell a lot of jokes and stories about how a single sentence differently punctuated makes different sense.
I'm sorry, interrupt you.
Yes.
স্নিগ্ধতা ঘোষ কলকাতা থেকে আমাদের
Having done both these examples,
okay, please carry on.
Let's go on to the other part that carries the most marks in letter writing.
Concluding part, ma'am. আমি বলছি একদম কনক্লুড করবে কি করে how should a student conclude?
I will come to now the expression. See, I told you 3 parts.
Okay, expression.
I said format is there. We've done body rather hurriedly, but done. We are train your mind now to look for those question words. Where are the question words hiding? They're hiding in the words of the letter. The question that is given to you.
Ma'am, sorry.
What?
Ma'am, sorry.
Where? Bolun.
Raghav Agarwal, Lucknow থেকে রয়েছে. Raghav, please.
Yes, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Raghav.
Yes,
Raghav.
My question is that when we write the email and if the question does not give what a designation at the last, what do we write in that case? Just
all
a
right,
name?
Stan, I'm going to answer that question, although it is not relevant to this. You are you need not write a designation unless the designation is part of the question. That you are the science secretary, now you write an email. If the question does not have that designation, you need not include it. You write as yourself. Right, done? Again, outside the scope of today's lesson? Okay, thank you, sir. We come to this. Children, this carries 5 marks. I want to explore 2 myths here. The expression of the letter does not depend on the composition. How can it? That is what we would call as teacher shadow effect. So if you do well in the composition, you automatically get good marks in the letter. That is not correct. Let me show you how you use these 5 marks to best advantage. The point of today's class in this studio is to show you how you can score marks. So I'm going to deal with 2 opening sentences, 2 closing sentences. So your opening, children, I said sentences, that is full stop to full stop. Opening sentences, they are not questions. So do not begin a letter, my dear grandfather, how are you? Right? Do not begin with it. Then your question should be, Miss, then what do I do? What do I begin with? The worst thing a letter can do is begin with how are you, how is your health, and so on and so on. It's so, the word in English is hackneyed. It's repeated and repeated ad nauseum till you're sick of it. So how do you have a creative opening sentence? Now a creative opening sentence, look at me, is a pointer. It points to what? It points to the body of the letter. See now, the body of the letter is closely related to the expression. The first 2 sentences has to point to the body of the letter. So let's go back to that first example I gave you. You have been selected as school captain. Write a letter to your parents who live abroad, telling them how you felt when you heard the news. See now, the body of the letter is closely related to the expression. The first 2 sentences has to point to the body of the letter. So let's go back to that first example I gave you. Your mother and father